Thanks for taking the time to join our ongoing Power User webinar series focused on SharePoint. Today we're going to have a look at project collaboration in the cloud, and specifically we're going to dig into the Microsoft stack and the offerings that are available to those customers who have made some investment in Microsoft and more specifically in the O365 cloud. But before we get started, I wanted to just kind of situate this conversation within sort of the broader context of where the market's at from a project and portfolio management perspective. And as you can see here, generally speaking, Microsoft is fairly well positioned in this space. Both Gartner and IDC have acknowledged that Microsoft has strong and positive offerings as a leader in project and portfolio management. I think it's also important to acknowledge that through this process, Microsoft has been looking to try to gain some additional market space, and so they spent a fair bit of time working with some marketing folks. There's an organization called Service Performance Insight. They're a research market firm, and they have done some interesting studies. And what they've basically shared with Microsoft and some of the customers, and what we want to share with you today, is those top of mind concerns, the things that are really keeping project management and PMO and folks who are delivering projects up at night. And it really boils down to three things. The first, I think, it revolves around the customer experience and really trying to deepen that engagement to the point where, as a project service delivery professional, you're really seen as a trusted advisor to your customer. Now, that may be an external customer. You may be in the business of delivering projects, as core to your business model, or it could very well be, an internal customer. You may be, part of a PMO or a project management group within your organization, and you may be looking to, try to improve that value proposition and that, ongoing relationship that you have with other, colleagues throughout your organization. The other piece is more squarely around teams and empowering teams and the folks who are working on the projects to do the delivery so that they can provide a better experience, so that they can collaborate internally with the team and really sort of up their game and from a project delivery perspective. And last but not least is really the opportunity to look to ensure that the projects that are being delivered are not only on time and on budget, but really positioned for optimal growth moving forward. In other words, having good data and good analytics to be able to determine if there's room for improvement and better decision making, both through the project delivery and post-project delivery, as you look to refine your approach and your practice over time. So I think it's fair to say that for anybody who has spent time working in projects mode, and it's almost sort of a de facto requisite now in most larger organizations. Projects are sort of the way that we tend to organize, especially around IT. Again, if you spend any time working on large projects, you'll intuitively understand that they can be very complex. They can be very challenging for a number of different reasons. You have different stakeholders coming in throughout the different points of the project lifecycle. Those stakeholders have different expectations and different needs in terms of the information that you share with them about the project itself, and obviously the delivery of the specific activities and artifacts that are being produced through the project. You also have leadership who wants to have a clear line of sight around the health and the status of the project on an ongoing basis. And then you have your team members, and you have your project managers as well. And all these people, again, they kind of bring different perspectives, different requirements, and different skill sets to the table. And managing and collaborating and getting all these people on the same page and keeping any sizable project moving forward through the various life cycles, the various stages of a project is challenging, is complex. But what we've seen is that for those organizations that can really foster a more people-centric view of collaboration for projects, are really able to influence the results, both from an on-time perspective and revenue generation as well. And then even further, for those companies that are looking to to bid or to position the value of the project itself. Often there's a whole process that happens before a project even kicks off, where you need to come up with a business case. You need to get buy-in from your stakeholders. Again, whether that be internal or as a project that you're trying to deliver to an external customer. Project collaboration, having some mechanism and a back-end set of tools that can help through that process really drives measurable results. So what do we mean by project collaboration? So let's step into it a little bit. As you can see here, there are a number of different facets around project collaboration. We've sort of broken these down into three broad buckets. There's the controlling and reporting piece, which again is very important for the PMO, for the project manager, certainly for executives and sponsors as well. There's the information and knowledge sharing for the project team, making sure that they have access to the documents and can collaborate around deliverables, have a clear line of sight around what the tasks are that are expected of them, and certainly have an opportunity to contribute to an ongoing knowledge base of lessons learned and best practices for delivery of projects. And then last but not least is this whole notion of communication, which I think is one of the areas that a lot of projects struggle with. Today we're inundated with information. There's lots of opportunity for things to get lost in the shuffle in your daily pile of inbox emails. And then more discreetly, how do we bring people together to have conversations around some of the risks or challenges that are arising? How do we schedule meetings? How do we do video conferencing or take notes during those meetings? All the pieces around communicating the status and the ongoing issues and arising risks. All of that needs to be taken into consideration from a project collaboration perspective as well. So taking a moment to look at the suite of offerings that Microsoft has in the project collaboration and project management space, there are a lot of options. And in typical Microsoft form, they like to give the customers options, which is really great on the outset because it means that you don't necessarily have to take this one-size-fits-all approach, and you can self-select the tool and the capabilities that best meet your requirements. And so what we're showing here really is that spectrum of sort of low to moderate complexity around either the process or the scale of the project itself, versus very robust, a very mature project management and portfolio management and resource management capabilities through some of the other products here. And we're not going to dig into all of these today, but I do want to highlight a few of them. Specifically, we're going to take a look at Planner, which is sort of a new thing, and some people may not be familiar with that. We also are going to go deep into project service automation, because this is also a new offering from Microsoft, and really, I think, is an excellent opportunity for organizations, specifically where they are looking to deliver projects to external customers, have requirements around time and expense tracking, need to manage resources, resource allocation in a more streamlined way. And then we're also going to highlight a product that we have built here at New Signature as well, called Projects Hub. I've included a feature comparison because I think it's important so people can kind of understand, how these different projects stack up against each other. And the suggestion here is that, generally speaking, one of these tools on itself will maybe satisfy part of the full set of requirements that a customer may have. But in all likelihood, we're talking, about a better together type of story, where you're likely going to blend, one or two of these tools together to be able to deliver on the requirements that you have for project collaboration and project service. Looking more specifically at Planner, which I think is a great, tool for task management, super lightweight in terms of the barrier to entry around the user interface. It's very intuitive, certainly great for small groups and teams where you really just, are charged with putting together a to-do list of tasks and keeping everybody on the same page. And as you can see here, there's a great drag and drop functionality as well as mobile capability, and some, out of the box charts and graphs to sort of show you, what a roll-up of activity looks like, across a specific initiative. Planner's built in to the Office 365 group experience now, so it's also, a great way for extending capabilities around other tool sets within Office 365, whether it be Yammer for, having conversations, or OneDrive for sharing documents. But generally speaking, this is very lightweight, tool set here. Some of the things that would likely be missing would be, a more detailed way to track risks or, log changes. There's no, KPIs or measurements around budget. It doesn't really have, a very robust scheduling. You can do light scheduling in terms of assigning, owners and due dates, but there isn't, heavy resource scheduling capabilities or any of those, features that you would expect to see in a more, robust tool set for project management and collaboration. So I just wanted to introduce Planner because I do think there's value in it, and I'm hoping people will, take the opportunity to have a look at that at least as a starting place. What I think is important to understand is that, when we look at the various products, and part of the reason why, I feel like it's more likely a better together type story, is because there's this sort of inherent tension or diverse, set of requirements and expectations that the project manager versus the project team typically would have for, delivery of projects. As you can see here, on the one side, the one hand for project managers, it's really about accountability and control, and making sure that, we're doing everything that we say we're going to do. We're doing it in a timely fashion. We haven't, increased the scope too much, and, we're tracking against the budget and can deliver, in an effective and optimized way. And if you contrast that with what the team members typically need, which is less about, control and compliance, they need to have, a little bit more, freedom to work on things in a more self-service way that is a little bit easier to use, so that they can, take ownership of their own tasks. They can do time entry in a lightweight fashion, so they don't have to, go into some, heavy time entry system, because nobody likes time entry, or heaven forbid, send emails around. And they want to make sure that they're, receiving timely communications, and that they understand, where the project's at, what the status is, what's expected of them in terms of, the next deliverable or the next meeting. And certainly, document collaboration is critical for the team members, because often, many artifacts, many assets for projects have some form of documentation that needs to be delivered. What we've sort of envisioned is a way to bridge this gap. A product offering that would sort of really help from the document collaboration and team collaboration perspective, but would also be useful and effective for project managers as well. And so with that said, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Projects Hub, and we're going to look a little bit more in detail at the Projects Hub solution when we get into the demo. But as you can see here, essentially it's a one-stop shop for project managers and teams to come to be able to find information about the status of an ongoing project. So they can see at a glance, where the budget's tracking, what kind of arising risks we have, if there's any, specific milestones that are past due or upcoming, and a lightweight list here as well of contact information for the team. We built this in Office 365. It's a SharePoint add-in, and as you can see here, there are a number of key features. And we really want to, get people to try this solution. So we're offering a free trial copy in the Office 365 store. And we'd love to hear back, some feedback from project managers, folks who are, working in small teams and collaborating around deliverables, so we can, look to improve this project, this offering over time. And as you can see here, we have it in the store, and it's available for $4.99 per month. You can also get a site license for it, and as I mentioned already, there's a free trial. So we'd really love people to give this kick of the tires and send us your candid and honest feedback, because we certainly want to look to improve this product over time. So with that said, what I'm going to do is transition now to demo mode. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Jovana, who's a solution architect and functional specialist around CRM. She's going to walk us through sort of where we see the intersection between Projects Hub as a collaboration tool and project service automation as a project management and portfolio solution.
Thank you, Duncan. So just give me 1 second to take over. Thank you. So before I begin, I would like to set the stage for today's demo. I will be demoing two tools that will illustrate easy collaboration on projects, so both from inception all the way to the end, both from internal and external with internal and external project team members. So the use cases you will see today also imply integration between Dynamics 365 and Office 365. Now, where I, as a front-end user, find value is the fact that when tools are integrated, there's a single source of truth. So the documents or the information you're surfacing in either, if it's the same information, it should be the same information, then there's one single source of truth to both to rely on. So let's start with Projects Hub. So what is Projects Hub? So it's an extension for SharePoint that enables high-level collaboration on one or many projects. Teams can collaborate internally, but access can be given to project team members that are external, and information as well as documents can be shared with the entire project team as a result. So why use it? So it bridges the gap between SharePoint and project service automations, or PSA. It has a pre-configured structure for the most common activities such as status reports, deliverables, and we're going to take a look at that in a second, change logs, risks, milestones, and budgets. It is PMO friendly. It has a great summary of the status for the project or projects you're working on. So as a project manager at Contoso or any other organization, I can see all the projects I have access to on this page you're looking at right now, or the directory page. And I can see metadata such as ID, name, start, and the project PM, as well as the project status, scope, budget, and schedule. And there's also a button to create a new project site in the bottom right-hand corner. So for the purposes of this demo, we're going to track one project called IT Implementation Project. And from the project directory, we're going to click on the IT implementation project to see the details. So here on this site, the PM manages the daily work of his project with the team, with his team members, and communicates status updates. So this area shows the project title and description, overall project summary, and the latest project status information is displayed, as you can see, in simple KPIs, red, yellow, and green. Expanding the summary will allow us to view or update the details about scope, budget, schedule, and project highlights. Now, to update the status report, you would go to the left-hand navigation pane and update the status report from there. Next on the site, we have deliverables. Documents and deliverables are displayed here. It uses Office 365 or SharePoint document library to manage the files. So please recall that what I mentioned earlier, that there is integration between Office 365 and Dynamics 365, which will now allow us to open the same document in Projects Hub as well as in PSA later on. So I'm going to just open to illustrate what that would look like. So right now we're in Word, where we can collaborate and to work on one document, and this same document can be accessed from Project Service Automation later on. So next are milestones. I displayed the current and late milestones with owners and due dates. To edit this list, you would go to the SharePoint task list and edit, and you can access that from the top right-hand corner of the milestones area. Next is risk log, which displays current and closed risks in a SharePoint list, and it calculates the risk level based on impact and probability. And we have a change log as well, which tracks changes and impact and their impact. And then finally, we have budget. So the project manager can also share this budget with those that have access to the site. And budget can be updated in the existing list item, which you would update the budget. You would not create a new list item for the budget. And finally, we have team member information at the bottom of the page. So with this, I will now switch to PSA. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So what I want to do now is switch to PSA and illustrate collaboration on day-to-day tasks on projects in Dynamics 365. So to successfully meet industry challenges, project-based organizations require an end-to-end solution that promotes relevant and timely collaboration so they can complete projects for customers on time and within budget. Project Service Automation helps organizations engage customers with outstanding service, gain insights from robust analytics and interactive dashboards, and increase productivity and profitability. So I'm going to show you use cases from 4 different perspectives in today's demo. We're going to omit or skip the account manager for the purposes of today's demo, but we're going to look at a consultant who manages his assigned projects and tasks. So we're going to look at a PM who ensures projects are completed on time and within budget, as well as a resource manager who staffs projects, and a program manager, or in some organizations this could be a practice lead, who oversees performance. So main features that we're going to see today include time entries, staffing and substitutions, invoicing, applying for upcoming projects, and performance dashboards. So you will also note that the use cases I will demo will illustrate as I mentioned earlier, Dynamics 365 and Office 365 integration. And you will recall that we already demonstrated Projects Hub and Office 365 or Dynamics integration, Office 365 integration. So what you will see further in this demo is Dynamics CRM mobile app, as well as Project Finder mobile app, Excel Online, and Word Online. So let's take a look at our consultant, Buddy Roundtree. He wants to stay up to date on his assigned projects and complete various tasks. So he goes to Dynamics 365. Now, because this is Dynamics CRM, he starts in a dashboard. But what Buddy really wants to do is go to Bookings and Tasks. So we're going to navigate to Bookings and Tasks. So here, Buddy can see which projects and tasks he's expected to complete and provide an update on the progress to ensure everyone is up to date. So let's update one of the tasks on the project that we have been tracking, called the IT implementation project task, and we're going to update design task. So let's type in, we're now looking at progress percentage, let's update that to 25%. Let's type in 30 for remaining hours, and let's save this. We're going to click OK. So next, let's navigate to the project record of the IT implementation project. We're going to go to Projects. From this page, he can see some high-level information of the projects he has access to. We're going to click on our project, the IT implementation project. And here, our consultant, Buddy, has a 360-degree view of the project, including a progress bar that indicates the project's current stage, as well as a project summary. So next, we're going to illustrate how Buddy and the team can collaborate from Dynamics 365. So on this page, you will see the project's calendar, which is a little more granular than the one that we showed in Project Hub. We also see that they can converse. There's a conversations area where they can also have access to a shared OneNote notebook, and they can collaborate on documents like the project statement of work. So let's take a look at that, and you will notice I mentioned earlier that this would be the same statement of work that was accessed through Project Hub, and you will note that it's the same statement of work in access through PSA as well. Now, Word Online has a built-in version control, so Buddy and the team can edit the documents in real time, and this helps ensure maximum efficiency and quicker delivery to customers. So next, we're going to look at time entries, and it is really easy to submit time entries from PSA, so employees can move more quickly to their billable activities. So let's now navigate to time entries. So what Buddy's looking at here is a calendar look, or where he can actually copy the timesheet that from a previous week that is probably similar to the one to the current week. So we're going to copy a timesheet from the previous week, July 3rd to July 9th, let's say. And we're going to click OK. Now, we're assuming that these the tasks that Buddy had this week are not identical to last week. So what we want to do now is take a look at our IT implementation project task on Tuesday, the 7th, July 12th, and we're going to update it with the most accurate information for this week to reflect this week's activities. So we're going to go to duration, and we're going to update from 4. We're going to say that, update that to 6. And we're going to save. Now, Buddy also wants to submit this, so we're going to click on the Submit button, and before he submits, he can actually review his time entries before he submits it for approval. And we're going to submit for approval. Now, the next piece of functionality that you're going to see is mobile, how he can do the same, update his add time entries from his mobile phone. So with Project Service Automation, he can actually log his time entries directly on his phone. And how do we do this? We're going to access it by going to this Dynamics CRM app. We're going to go to the menu to add a new time entry. And we're going to look for the time entries icon here and open it. Now from here, to add another time entry, we click on the plus button. And we're going to add date. So we're going to change it from July 12th to July 13th. We're also going to click OK. We're going to update the project, so to the associated project, which is the IT implementation project. We're going to update the project task to design. And we're going to update his role on this project, which is architect. We're going to submit it. Now, there's another app on his phone called the Project Finder app, or Project Finder Mobile. And the Project Finder app makes it easy for Buddy to find new opportunities that fit or expand his skill set, helping him grow his career and ensuring he stays fulfilled on his job. So he can review, he has an overview of the projects that are currently in the pipeline. He's interested, suppose, in the CRM implementation project. He can look at all the details of this project on his mobile phone, as well as the location, and he can apply for the job. So he sends the application and applies for the job that he's interested in. So next, we're going to switch our point of view. We're going to look at Project Manager. So Edmund uses the solution to ensure projects are completed on time and within budget. In CRM, from this page, Edmund can monitor all of his team's active projects, and he can quickly see which ones are on track or behind schedule and take quick action if needed. Let's go to the IT implementation project from the PM's point of view. So this is a high-level view of the project. He can quickly see what stage the project is in from the progress bar on top of the page, as well as if the project is on schedule and under budget. He can also review sales data. He can review the team members that are assigned to the project and as well as their roles. And he can also look at the overall project status. If there are any blocking issues, Edmund can easily update the status and include any clarifying comments to keep the team up to date. So now we see that the overall project status is green. We're going to update it to yellow, and we're going to add some comments in this section. So work estimates longer to complete. We can scroll down to see more. So he can also review charts and graphs showing progress percentage, cost, consumption, and performance by role. So with this information, he can ensure the project stays on track and within budget, meeting the customer's needs. For more specific tracking, Edmund, our PM, can use the project tracking view. So let us go to the project tracking view and see what that looks like. So here, Edmund can review a Gantt chart that offers a graphical representation of the project schedule, including actual hours, remaining hours, progress percentage, and more. So because of the blocking issue, Edmund increases the number of remaining hours. So what we're going to do is go to the develop task, and we're going to update the number of hours to 110. We're going to save this. And the chart automatically updates the schedule variance now. And what we want to do now is take a quick look at the cost of tracking. So we're going to go to the cost tracking view. And this is where our PM can easily track any variance between actual and planned costs. Now let's take a look at a list of project members. We're going to navigate to project team members. And so project service automation capabilities make it easy for the project manager to reassign resources as needed. For example, if a team member is no longer available to work on the project, admin can easily find a substitute without leaving the project record. So let's see how. So we're going to click on Read, Herman. We're going to click on Maintain Bookings. And here Edmund selects the work to reassign and then uses the Find Substitute button. So we're going to go to the implementation project and we're going to substitute resource. We're going to take Mike and substitute Read with Mike. And you will see when we go back to our team that Read has been now replaced by Mike. Now, let's for a second talk about invoicing. So when it's time to create a new invoice on the project, it's easy to do. So we're going to, the first thing that you will do is go to Contract, Project Contract. We're going to select the project contract invoice, and we're going to click on Adventure Works Implementation Contract, which is the one on top. We're going to click from here. We're going to click on. We're going to create an invoice, and just by clicking on the Create Invoice button. The solution allows for a fixed price or time and materials billing. So now let's take a look at professional services invoice line item. We're going to just take a brief look at what it contains. So these are all the chargeable entries that we see from here. We're going to go back to the contract, and right from here we're going to say send invoice to customer. You will see that you can do that by clicking on Send to Customer on top of the screen. And that's it. So this is our invoice. Now this invoice can be accessed, of course, for the internal staff or anybody working on the project through PSA, or if you do want to communicate with your external team as well, you can submit it through the portal or Project Hub access, with anybody can with access can see it, whether internal or external. And next we're going to switch the point of view to Corinna Farmer, who is our resource manager, who staffs projects based on roles, skills, and availability. So Corinna reviews projects and prepares them for implementation. For instance, from this project record, she can use work breakdown structure to make staffing decisions. So we're going to go to work breakdown. So Corinna reviews the project timeline and the roles needed to complete the work. Using project service automation capabilities in CRM Online, she can generate a project team with the click of a button. So we're going to click on the, if you take a look at where the chevrons are under the Deliver stage, there is a Generate Project Team button to see the resources that she needs. So the solution automatically recommends the roles required to get the job done, and we're going to, Corinna takes a look at this and accepts the recommendation. Next, to To assign people to the generated team roles, Karina opens the project team members view. She can see the hours required for each role, and she will select one. So she will select one that says generic resource for architect, and she will click on hard book. Now, in this view, she can use filters to find the resource that's best suited for the job. For example, she can choose also which organizational unit to search. So we're going to take a look at one of the filters here, the top one that says look organizational units, and we're going to add another unit that is Contoso UK. And we're going to click the apply button, the bottom left hand corner. And to find out more about each candidate, we can change the view so she can see more details about each candidate. You will see that she has, now she can view their utilization targets as well as the details of their skill set and cost. We're going to select Reggie to fill in the general role for architect. So we're going to click on Reggie, and we're going to see now that the generic resource has now been updated with Reggie as the actual resource. And finally, we're going to look at the point of view of Sharon Curtis, who's a program manager and who uses project service automation to review and analyze key metrics. We looked at the dashboard earlier, but this is where we're actually going to focus on it. So PSA capabilities in Dynamics CRM Online provide a variety of out-of-the-box dashboards, such as this one, with access to interactive charts and graphs. So now let's take a look at one of the charts, in particular the middle top one with orange bars. So this chart shows gross margin by month. Now Sharon can drill down into the data to gain deeper insights. So for instance, let's take a look at the data for the month of May. We're going to select field drop-down arrow, and we're going to look for role, and we're going to filter by role. Now, the interactive report is automatically updated with this filter, and from here she also has access to the resource utilization tool. So let us go to the resource utilization tool. The tool makes it easy for her to monitor utilization across all resources based on the projects and tasks assigned to them. And next, our program manager, or it could be a practice lead, Sharon takes a quick look at the actuals. So we're going to navigate to actuals. And next thing that we want to do is go to Excel templates. So we're going to demonstrate or illustrate Excel integration, and she can open the data that you just saw in Excel Online without actually leaving the system and further analyze in her probably favorite tool. So we're going to look at one of the templates that has been pre-built, loaded into PSA, and always available for use. So we're going to export this, and you will see that it's we're using the template to ensure the data is formatted properly, and this is a pivot chart that she's familiar with, looking at actuals in Excel now. So the data has been exported and making her, I guess, advanced analytics analysis easy. With this, I think we're going to end the demo, and I'm going to open the floor and pass it back to Duncan.
Okay, thanks, Yona. So that was definitely a whirlwind tour of project service automation. We want to see if there's any questions from the audience, if anyone has added anything to the chat window here that they would like some clarity around in terms of either Projects Hub for team collaboration and communicating status, or the project service automation solution in Dynamics for more robust project management. Any questions from the audience? Okay. Well, with that said then, I'll give you a final slide here to look at as a quick takeaway. For those of you who might be interested again in checking out Projects Hub, please feel free to hit the Office store. And for those of you who may have some interest in project service automation, likewise there is a trial version, and here's some costing as well, so you get a sense for what the what the per user per month spend would be like for project service automation. Okay, with that said then, we're going to wrap for today. As we indicated at the outset, we have recorded this session, so it will be available for review, and we'll certainly provide a copy of the deck for anyone who's interested as well. And for those of you who would like some additional information or want to reach out directly, we do have our information in the deck as well. So by all means, you can send an email to info@newsignature.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone. Recording has stopped. Thanks for joining, and have a great day.